Hey everyone, it's NoodleHouse here and we're back on Chaos Child. Sorry, thanks for the meal. Don't worry, to be honest I'm sick of the stuff. After I finished eating the calorie block, Shinjo threw the wrapper in the trash. Whenever he was running around the case he always kept 2 or 3 with him, he said. I ate them a lot too, so I knew what he meant about being sick of them. I eat the chocolate ones a lot. I see. I didn't know how long I'd been crying, but it was the first time I cried until my lungs and throat hurt. Shinjo had offered me a handkerchief and quietly waited a long time for me to finish. After I'd fallen silent and I couldn't find any new tears to wipe away with the handkerchief, my stomach suddenly rumbled. Until then, my hand felt like drinking water, but after a full day of no food, my body had begun to demand it. Shinjo was fiddling with his cell phone. He seemed to be checking his messages. Then he turned to me questioningly. Miyashiro, sorry, but I need to ask you something. I could tell he was asking if we would be okay. It felt like the tears were about to start again, but I held them back. I looked down at Nona's letter. I'd been holding it so hard it had gone crumpled in my hands. Don't think about revenge. Don't do anything dangerous. I know. I'm fine, Nono. I'm not fine at all. I'm not, but I'm fine. I touched the letter as gently as I could. Then I looked at Shinjo with tear-swollen eyes and nodded. Go ahead, what is it? It's about Serika and Noe. Kunosato and Mimose have all looked into her and there's just too much we don't know. Just tell me what you remember. Give me your oldest memory of her, preferably one of the time when you first met. I wasn't sure how to process the complicated feelings I felt when he asked me that question. It was painful and unreal to think my oldest friend was a killer. It made me furious that I lost my best friend and both my sisters at the same time. It made me sad to think the letter that Nona had written to me and realise that I might never feel better again. And it made me feel pathetic to realise how I didn't want to admit that Serika and Noe was the cause of it all. It all mixed together, and like a swamp that threatened to draw me down, it pulled me deeper inside the abyss of my memories. When I first met Noe, it was before I started elementary school. I can't remember the exact date. She was my next door neighbour and would come over and play a lot. Yes, that's right. I was born in 1997, so if it was the same year I started elementary school, it would be around 2004. We played together almost every day. She was like a little sister to me. I remembered that at first. I'd read her picture books that I'd only just learned to read myself. And her family was a lot like mine. Right, I'll tell you about mine though. I was an only child and both my parents worked. They both worked in an IT company back when they weren't very... Right, they both worked at an IT company back when there weren't very many of them. I think they met each other there. Work was all they cared about, and it was only years later that I learned that normal people didn't eat all 3 meals with a babysitter. About the time I started elementary school, I started going online using one of their old computers. It was common for me to be up past midnight even then, but my parents didn't know. And I think they didn't care. I just remember at least 2 birthdays where they just left me a present and a note saying they were sorry they couldn't make it. The year after the last one, there wasn't the present, and the year after that, there wasn't even a note. Part of the way through elementary school, I mostly stopped going. I think it was 3rd grade. My mum happened to be home, so she picked up the phone when the teacher called. She looked annoyed when she talked to them. She said her husband was the one who took care of all that and hung up. She didn't tell me to go to school, or even that I didn't have to go. And Dad didn't even know the teacher's name. At that time, I learned online that was why they were called low-level child neglect. Serika was the same. Actually, she was worse. She always used to tell me I was lucky because I got a card. Oh, a credit card. I didn't have a babysitter then, so I had to get my own food. Once I learned how to use that card, I would split the food I bought with Serika. I didn't think her parents here or anything either. Oh, there was one time she came over to my house really scared. Her parents had tried to force her to go to a hospital, she said. No, I don't know the details, but they said all kinds of mean things about how she was crazy and how she wasn't normal. So I think it was a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or a psychiatrist. Fuck's sake, I always miss those errors, but that's so annoying to see. A psychiatrist, or someone who worked at a hospital like that. She cried a long, long time. I let her stay in my room for a while. My parents never cleaned it, and they never looked inside it. Yeah, thinking back, they were probably together all the time when I was little. No, I've never met Serika's parents. She said they went almost never home. I don't think I ever went to her home either. They didn't have a computer, so there was no need to go. Huh? I'm not sure. I don't think she went to school a lot. I never saw her playing with anyone but me. And we were busy finding information on the internet, so we were much smarter then. No, never mind. When we were in the 4th grade, 2 years before the earthquake, we heard a rumour about Amy, an urban legend. We both went to the basement of the hospital to look for it, yes. Tokyo General Hospital. We liked stuff like that, both me and her. That's where we saw the experiment being done on Minamisawa. We got scared and ran. I couldn't even imagine what it was that I was seeing back then. That was the first time she and I snuck in anywhere. Serika? I think she was scared. I remember thinking that I needed to protect her. But we were both about equally excited. It was a chance to know something that no one else knew. Serika told me I should go to the school and tell everyone what I saw, and so I did. Everyone told me I was lying, of course. So I started going even less. I started researching the sumo stickers and stuff. We tried making a web page about it together. When we were in 6th grade, the New Generation Madness happened. That was 2009. It was like we'd gone crazy. At first we couldn't believe that something like that was happening in the city we lived in. We spent almost a whole day glued to the computer following the news. When something big like that was going on, if you take your eyes off the internet for even a few hours, you'll get left behind. We stayed up all night in shifts following the case. Sometimes we used our cell phones to read the internet, as we actually went out to the crime scenes and took photos. More murders kept happening, and eventually they started to say Takuru Miyashiro was the killer, but that turned out to be wrong. Serika and I were both very excited. He seemed so cool. Proving your innocence means something, the right information, shoving it in the faces of people whose information was bad, right? It seemed like the ultimate expression of what I was trying to do then, and I guess I'm still trying to do now, with the newspaper club. Serika said he was amazing, I agreed. When the earthquake happened, Serika and I were near the O front building. Nishijou was doing something there we wanted to see. And then there was a high-pitched noise, and everything went white. And then it happened. At first we didn't think it was an earthquake, we thought it was a bomb or something. The ground bounced up and down like a trampoline, and several of the telephone poles near us fell over. I could hear screaming and the sound of breaking glass. Someone yelled earthquake. That's how I knew it was an earthquake. Anyway, Serika and I ran away so we wouldn't get caught up with the people panicking. We didn't know where we were running, but we didn't want to be there. We got caught up in the crowds and Serika and I were quickly separated. When that happened I got scared, and all of a sudden I couldn't move. I got pushed over and fell, and then I crawled behind something. The shaking had stopped, but what scared me more than the quake was the way everyone around me had changed in an instant. I spent a long time in that spot unable to move. The idea of going home never occurred to me. There was no way I could rely on my parents for help, and at the time, I thought that no place in Shibuya was still standing. I didn't know what to do. Then I found Serika passed out near me. She must have been pushed down and hit her head, or maybe she hadn't been able to handle what she was seeing because she passed out. I decided that I had to save her. The information online said that Yogi was relatively undamaged and the hospitals were accepting patients. I carried her on my back and started walking there. And then... no, never mind. Anyway, I just kept walking, and finally I reached Tokyo General Hospital, which had been turned into a temporary shelter. Serika looked like she had been in pain the whole way there. She didn't wake up. I saw my parents there, and then I collapsed from a terrible headache. That's all I remember from the earthquake. When I woke up I was in Alberdorm, and a year had passed while I was in a coma. And That's where I met Nono and the others. Sorry, I'm fine. I heard what happened then from Nono and Serika. Serika woke up at the hospital and saw me unconscious. She stayed with me the whole time, and when AH Tokyo General overflowed, I was moved to one of the other hospitals in their network, and she came with me. She wasn't in good shape either, and I guess she didn't want to go home. She refused to leave my side, and when people from hospitals saw her, they put her into care. Counselling, I mean. Her parents died in the earthquake, she said. So did mine. Given the circumstances, the hospital didn't seem to mind her staying there with me. But once things started to calm down, they sent her home. She found some relatives who agreed to help her get a place, the one she has now, and then every day she came to visit me in the hospital. No, I don't think... I don't know. I think she said they were relatives who lived a long way away. No, I don't know their names, I'm sorry. Some time passed, and since there was nobody to take me in, I was moved to Albadorn. But she still stayed with me the whole time. That's when she met Nono, I guess. They were good friends. When I woke up after more than a year, I had trouble moving. Nono helped me with my physical therapy. Serika would come check in on me all the time, and Nono would happily tell me her progress. Tell her my progress, fuck. Family was very, very important to Nono, and Serika was the one person outside the family she called by her first name, not her last. The two of them would go out and visit all the different crepe shops in Shibuya, and since Serika didn't have any interest in makeup or clothes, Nono would take her shopping for them. They really were good friends. But after my therapy ended and I could walk, I started going to school more and more. Yes, at middle school. I was given special permission to be in second year along with the other kids my age. Serika did the same as a first year student. After the earthquake while I was in a coma, she'd started going to school. It was hard living on her own, but Nono would take care of her, and her relatives sent her plenty of money. She seemed to be doing better than she was at her old house. No, there was nothing strange, I think. I went to Hekio Academy, because they offered free tuition for orphans of the earthquake. A year later, so did Serika. We both joined the newspaper club and did things there. I was exactly as you saw it, I think. It was exactly as you saw it. Fuck me, words are hard. She spent a lot of time with us at school, but she had her own friends in her own class. She wasn't part of any of their groups, but it didn't seem like they were ignoring her either. I'd never seen her with anybody suspicious, and she wasn't the type of person to keep secrets. When I didn't have a charger, she'd just hand me her phone and let me use it. That was the kind of girl she was. Yes. Serika was a normal high school kid, just like us. November 5th, 2015, Thursday. Same time, the streets of Shibuya. I'm going to end the episode here. If you like, fucking hell, breathy breathing on my controller. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below. And if you want to see more of this, and do subscribe to the channel, as I upload every day. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.